Okay, recipe for writing an about page that gets wedding couples to hire you. So, how do you make your copy, what you say on your about page, stand out from the crowd of all those other wedding pros that do what you do so that it doesn't overwhelm wedding couples, but instead engages them and actually gets them to hire you? So today I'm going to reveal my recipe for writing a bangin' about page that gets you noticed, but more importantly, gets wedding couples to hire you. And by the way, these are the same exact steps that I share with wedding pros that take my paid courses, and they work like gangbusters. So you can apply the recipe to attracting your dream brides and grooms and wedding couples. Before we jump right in, I just want to take care of a couple housekeeping items. First of all, I will leave about 15, maybe 10 minutes at the end or so for questions. Please hold your questions until the end. If you have a question, just jot it down so that you won't forget it, and I'll answer everything at the end of the call. And one more thing, hang in until the end because I do have one juicy offer for you that you don't want to miss. Okay. Oh yeah, let me give you some down and dirty info on me so you have some idea of who I am and why you might want to listen to what the heck I have to say. Anyway, so I'm Kristie Lorette McCauley. I do have a word addiction and I am not afraid to use it or admit it. In my past life, I was a certified wedding planner. In my current life, though, I am the wedding planner copywriter. So I am a published author, copy expert, marketing maven, communication chica. I'm a wife and a mom, and so much more. I wear a ton of hats, and I know that you do too. And I know that because as a former certified wedding planner, I've walked a mile in your shoes. I've been writing, I feel like forever, since I was about 2, but it probably didn't make much sense until much later in my life. And in the real world, I do have over 18 years of writing and marketing experience. And I use that experience in writing and from running my own wedding planning business in the past to turn your thoughts, thoughts of wedding professionals into words that really land you your dream brides and grooms in that book your calendar solid. So I did own and operate my wedding planning business for, it was about 4 to 5 years. I was also on the board of National Association of Wedding Professionals for the Miami-Dade and Broward chapter. I ran my business out of Miami when I was living there at the time. I have been writing copy and content for the wedding industry specifically for over 8 years. I've published thousands of wedding articles, and I've even authored some wedding books such as Your Second Wedding. All right, that's it about me. Let's do this. So, recipe for writing an about page that gets wedding couples to hire you. So, while this is not a specific step in the recipe, what I'm about to share with you is part of writing a great about page. So, be you when you write. It really and truly is what cuts through the noise, setting you apart from all of those other wedding pros in your area, all of your competitors. So your dream couples relate to you in a way that they might not relate to any other wedding professional. So what happens is when your words, your story, your background, your credentials, when those things resonate with them, they want to hire you because of your tone or your personality or your character or all of those things that shine through from reading what you have to say on your website. So whatever it is something that connects your words to their hearts, and bam, they realize right away that you are, the wedding planner, the DJ, the florist, the wedding professional that they've been searching for all of this time. So keep that in mind as you write. Again, not a specific step, but something that you want to keep in the back of your mind as you're writing your About Me page, and really any page of your website. That's a really important detail. All right. So I call it the power of storytelling. So you have a story to tell, and you have a way of telling it. It's your story. It's nobody else's story. So use that. Use your story and your way of telling it. And that sounds so basic, right? And I'll use myself as a very quick example. There are 1 million plus copywriters in this world. And if I just write the same old boring copy about myself on my About Me page, nobody is going to care. They'll be like, so what, ho hum, you know, she's just like everyone else, you know, on to the next. Now, I can't stand for that, and neither should you. So when these wedding couples are reading your web page, your About page, you know, you can't have them being like, oh, they're just like every other. So I have to tell my story my way so that my dream clients, which happen to be wedding planners, you know, can relate to me, my life, and my story. And you have to do the same with your story. And, you know, again, the story is all unfolding in your About Me page or About page or About Us page, depending on how your company is set up. And here's how I use what I call the website wow copy recipe to write or to rewrite your About Me page. As I go through the ingredients of the recipe, I'm going to use my own About page as an example, just so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about. And I do offer some examples of some wedding professionals at the end that you can check out as well. Okay, so number 1, write a headline that is about you, but is really about them. You know, it's all about the brides and the grooms or the couples, you know, that are landing on this page. And I have this conversation with wedding planners all the time. Brides and grooms are selfish. When it comes right down to it, they care very little about you and really only care about themselves and their big day. And I don't care how great of a person, you know, the bride is or how sweet the groom is. When it comes to their wedding, it's all about what is in it for them. And again, they just care what they're getting out of this. So this relationship with you. So keep this in mind as you work through the recipe and you're sitting down to write your About page. It sounds funny. It's your About Me page, but it is absolutely really nothing about you. So back to the headline. Okay, so my headline is, I'm a word nerd. You and your wedding planning business needs someone who is in love with the wordy stuff. So yours might be something along the lines of, I'm a wedding creative. Your wedding planning needs someone that can sprinkle in your personality and charm into your big day. And that's just one very quick example. You definitely want to come up with a headline that describes what you do or who you are. So I wouldn't copy any of this really, but it really is telling them, you know, what you can do for their wedding. That's what this headline is about. So big important part of your About Me page is your headline. If you don't grab their attention with your headline, they may not read the rest of your page. And they may click away from your site altogether. So one of the most important ingredients on your About Me page. Okay, ingredient number 2. Follow up with a quick little intro that is snappy and punchy. So you can almost think of this as your elevator speech. Basically, what can you say or what would you say to someone that describes what you do in about 10 seconds or less? Now, the key here is that what you say has to be intriguing without being too revealing, because you want to grab their attention. Your goal is to get them to want to know more. So you've got to create a need or desire to read the rest of your page. Just with a little quick intro. I'd say you can probably cover this in about 2 to 3 sentences. Doesn't have to be a huge paragraph. It can be really short and sweet, simple, to the point, punchy. Mine is, I'm Kristie Lorette McCauley. I have a word addiction and I'm not afraid to use it or admit it. It's okay if you don't feel the same way about writing copy. That's why you have me. People are always like, word addict? What? What does that really mean? They're absolutely fascinated when I go on to tell them that I write website copy for wedding planners. So again, it's just, it's kind of like a conversation starter in a way. So you just a really short, punchy, snappy intro. You could even say you're a wedding addict, to really grab their attention, and then go on to describe that you're a wedding planner or some other type of wedding professional, that exclusively works with, and then fill in the blank of the types of brides and grooms or the types of weddings that you work with or want to attract. Maybe it's destination weddings in Hawaii, and then everyone goes, ooh, ah, or maybe it's luxury weddings in Miami. So, just depends on, how your business is set up. Okay, so you got a headline, and then you've got your snappy and punchy intro, 2 of the first ingredients. Then the third ingredient is expand on your intro, describing who you are and what you do, but with a twist, so that it really shows how you help your ideal clients. So mine, and this will sound familiar to you because I read it to you at the beginning when I was going over who I am. In my past life, I was a certified wedding planner. In my current life, I am the wedding planner copywriter. I'm a published author, copy expert, marketing maven, communication chica, wife, mother, and so much more. I wear a ton of hats, and I know you do too. So you'll see I'm talking about myself, but I'm really not. I'm really talking about how I work with wedding planners or wedding professionals in general because I know what's up. I know what's up in the wedding industry. So that's what you want to project to your clients, basically. And I say this, I know that you wear a ton of hats because I'm a former certified wedding planner and I've walked a mile in your shoes. So you just basically want to twist and tweak everything that you're saying so that it really shows what they get out of working with you. Whether you're DJing their wedding, whether you're planning their wedding, whether you're providing the florals and the decor for their wedding, whether you're, setting up their linens, whatever it is, you have to kind of figure out, okay, this is what I offer. How does that benefit them? And how can I word that? Twist and tweak. So here's the thing. You can sprinkle in a ton of information about your experience and your knowledge, but you have to do that twist, and you have to twist it enough to show how it actually is a benefit for the bride or the groom or both. So it's hard to give really specific examples because all of your experience and backgrounds are so different. Plus some of you are DJs while others are planners or florists. So it's not easy to come up with some really hardcore examples. But again, I do share some examples at the end that you can take a look at. But think about basically what brought you to being the wedding professional that you are. What experiences do you have? What jobs have you held in your past? What personal life experiences brought you to where you are today? This is the kind of info you want to share, but all the time tweaking it to reveal how everything has made you the fab wedding professional that you are today, because that is what the couple needs, as a benefit to them. So I'll say this. I think you get the idea, but I'll say this before I move on to the next ingredient. I read a lot of copy, be it someone's copy that I'm about to tackle to rewrite or to write from scratch, or just because I'm browsing around at professionals that I meet at their website. And I see such a range. I see some very egotistical copy that makes me go, wow, if I was a bride, I would not hire this person because they seem like an egomaniac, even though they're a really nice person when you have a conversation with them. You want to project who you are without coming across as pompous, I guess, on your website, pompy. So You want your personality to shine through. You want people to get to know you just by reading your website. And your about page is the perfect page, you know, for them to get to do that. So again, I think you get the idea here. It is about you to some extent, but it really has nothing to do with you. It's really totally about them. All right. Ingredient number 4, bang out some of your street creds. So this is probably the only part on the page that really is about you. And I know that sounds crazy, but I do this and I suggest you do the same thing. Use bullet points for this particular section. So you can talk about your experience, you know, talk about yourself, talk about your accreditations, your certifications, your board positions for any associations that you are members of, books you've written, how long you've been a wedding professional, et cetera, et cetera. So I bullet out point all this because it makes it skimmable, easy to read. It doesn't need to be a big fat paragraph that nobody cares about, but still gives them an option to go, oh, wow, you know, he's the president of this association, or he's been doing weddings for 25 years and, you know, blah, blah, blah. He's the, or she's the only expert that in this area that deals with luxury weddings, or whatever the case may be. So you heard again mine when I introed myself, you know, that I was a former certified wedding planner, that I owned and operated my own business for X amount of years, that I sat on the board of NAWP and all these different positions that I had, how long I've been writing copy for the wedding industry, blah, blah, blah. So that's where you want to come in and kind of bullet point out your experience and just highlight what makes you stand out from, you know, the other wedding planner, the other DJ, etc. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is you want to throw in a call to action. So think of your web page, this page, and really any page you're writing, but since we're focusing on your about page, think about your about page as taking them on a journey. So at the headline, you want to grab them by the hand and you want to take them on this journey of working with you personally as they read through this page. And all along the way, you are creating a need or a desire to work with you. That's what this all comes down to. And so now that you've done that, you've worked really hard, you know, starting at the headline and you're all the way down at the bottom of the page now. You've worked really hard all along this journey to create the need and desire to work with you. They're ready. They want to work with you. So what do they do next? That's what your call to action is. Tell them what you want them to do now that they're dying to work with you. My personal one's a bit lengthy. It's a couple of short paragraphs. Yours does not have to be that long. It can literally be one sentence. Mine is, there's a subheadline that reads, how my sweet knowledge benefits you. And then I say, well, for starters, you don't have to spend time teaching me about the wedding industry. My learning curve is low to non-existent because I already know what's up in the world of weddings and wedding planning. Then I have another just short paragraph. Then there's the whole writing thing. I have that down pat already too. So once you tell me what you're up to, I'm ready to roll. Then new paragraph. So let's get this straight. I know your industry and I can write like there is no tomorrow. What are you waiting for? Separate line. My true call to action says, let's do this. And when they click on that, it takes them to my work with me page, which spells out all the different ways that we can work together. You know, you can just say, let's plan this. You can say, you know, call today for your free consultation appointment, book your free consultation appointment now. And then that links to your calendar that they can go ahead and book an appointment right on your calendar. I mean, there's endless possibilities of what your call to action could be. I usually suggest that from the About Me page, it takes them to like a Work With Me or a Packages page where they can find out exactly, you know, what 3 packages you offer, what a la carte services you offer, add-ons or whatever. But that's up to you. It doesn't have to be that. It can be, you know, whatever you want. Again, it's your journey that you're taking them on. Just, you know, so that call to action is your destination. I will say this too. You can list out some of the benefits that they have from working with you. And there are many, many, many that you can list here. So figure out those that are the most important to your particular dream couples and then drive them home. That's what I did in those 3 intro paragraphs leading up to my true call to action, which is let's do this. I basically spelled out a couple of very, very high on wedding planners and wedding professionals, their list of benefits for working with a copywriter that specifically works in their niche. And you want to do that with your brides and grooms. You want to pick out, you know, highlight 2 or 3 of the benefits that are most important to that niche of couples. And then give them some kind of a next step to take. And that can be different for each of you. If you want them to call you, just say it. You know, say, give me a call so we can chat and here's my number. If you want them to visit your services page or your packages, you know, say that and then link them to that page. Send them over there, you know, whatever it is that you want them to do, just go ahead and officially tell them right here and now. All right. So we are building up to one of the final ingredients, which is, you know, you can throw in an official bio, an official biography for good measure. You don't have to do this. It's good to have it on the About page because it is your About page. And this can be below your call to action. So that's really more of an afterthought or info that they can take a look at if they're thoroughly interested. Again, it's more official. I prep right up front and I tell them, you know, now I'm going to talk about myself as if I'm someone else for a moment. You know, you've been warned, because my official bio, and yours should be too, is in the 3rd person. So I won't read through my entire one, but I will say for your official bio, keep it to, you know, 2, 3, maybe 4 paragraphs. You can use your official bio on your website, obviously on this page. And then you can also use this for other opportunities such as, you know, guest blog posting and things of that nature. So if you do use it externally, meaning not on your website, make sure you add a call to action into your bio. So whatever that is. Mine usually has a link to some free guide that I'm offering, like a writing survival kit or whatever the case may be. It depends on where I'm posting. But definitely, you know, have a way that they can link back to you. And hopefully you can, you know, by doing so, you might be able to get them on your list and then communicate with them other ways, or, you know, have other conversations with them besides them just reading some guest blog posts, you know, out there in the universe. So I'm going to read you my bio just because I want you to see by the end how it's really not about me at all, and it's really all about them. It's very short. So I say, Kristie Lorette McCauley is an award-winning copywriter for wedding planners, former certified wedding planner, former executive board member of the NAWP Miami Broward chapter, published author, marketing maven, communication chica, wife, mother, and so much more. She only works with a select number of wedding planners to write website copy that books more brides and books their calendars solid, not into next month, but into next year. Kristie is passionate about working with wedding planners to create words that pack a punch to increase their booked wedding business and increase their cash flow. By the way, Kristie holds a BS in marketing and a BS in multinational business from Florida State University and her MBA from Nova Southeastern University. She's a Florida girl in a Virginia world. With over 18 years of marketing and qualifications experience with a ton of writing and wedding planning in the mix. She knows what's up and how to put it into words. So that's your goal. Your homework, if you will. You have to craft an about page that walks the line between being about you and being about the brides and the grooms that you're trying to attract to your business. So first, headline that's about you, but is really about them, really about the brides and the grooms that you're trying to attract. Second, follow up with a quick and snappy intro that's not too wordy and packs a bit of a punch so that it intrigues them to go ahead and read the rest of what you have to say. Then throw in your credentials, how what you know and who you are can benefit them. And then round it out with a call to action. And then finalize it with your official bio. And I'm going to give you some, I went through countless wedding professional websites. It was insane. It's been insane the amount that I've read, either, again, somebody's that I'm about to tackle or somebody's that I run across in another way. So I'll be honest, it's really hard to find wedding planners in my field that get it right when it comes to writing their about page. But from time to time, I do come across some great ones, and my mom taught me to share. So here you go. The first one is Andrea Appolito. I think she's out in Vegas. And Andrea her about page is on the road to perfection. So I would definitely check hers out first. Again, do not copy any of these. These are just for inspiration. That's it. But you'll see a lot of what I just went over in these pages because it works. So second, not perfect, but pretty good, is the Munster Rose site. And the link should be there, on the slide for you, so you can copy it down. I don't think you can click on it through Google Hangouts, unfortunately. Also a pretty good one, but I will warn you, she's missing a strong call to action at the end, is At First Blush & Co. It's very good throughout, but she needs to add a call to action. And then Tanya's isn't perfect, but she does a really great job of twisting how her experience is a benefit to the brides and grooms that she's trying to attract. So check out the Weddings of Pittsburgh about page. And then Amber's, who runs events with Ambiance, it's pretty good. She sets the scene for them, really taking them on that journey that's about them, and then shows how she can help. She does a really, really good job of creating the journey and then twisting it enough to show how she fits into that journey. And then the last one is I do wedding planning. And this one has a ton of personality and charm. I won't say the page is perfect, but I think she touches the hot points for Southerners, which is her niche. She plans Southern style weddings. So I definitely check that one out. And I'll come back to this slide. I'm going to move on, but I'll come back to it just in case you didn't have a chance to mark them all down quite yet. But before I open it up for the Q&A, and then I'll go back to that slide, I did promise you a juicy offer. So if you loved what you learned during this webinar, then you're going to love my free offer. And I'm going to quickly mention a program that I have rolling out as well. So the free offer is my Writing Survival Kit. And you'll be able to grab a hold of my Dream Wedding Couple Worksheet. Important because you need to know who you're talking to before you can actually sit down and write copy that speaks to them. So Dream Wedding Couple Worksheet walks you through that. Then you can also grab the 40 marketing lessons for wedding planners. I wrote it last year for my 40th birthday. I just turned 41, so maybe I'll have to update it. Actually, I give you one to grow on in the 40 marketing lessons for wedding planners. You also get the headline cheat sheet. So you get, I think it's 10 headline formulas that you can just plug and chug to use for various things, whether it's website pages or your blog posts. And then I also throw in, for good measure, 25 blog post ideas for wedding planners / professionals. So you can grab all that at weddingplannercopy.com/survival kit, all one word. And then I'm just going to briefly mention the program that I'm offering. I'm rolling it out. Enrollment starts August 15th. So it's a copywriting boot camp for wedding planners and wedding professionals to learn how to write copy so engaging that your dream brides and grooms cannot wait to book you now. So again, if you like what you just heard during this webinar, the boot camp is 8 times this information, literally, because it's an 8-week-long program. It's not your typical copywriting course that you're not going to finish, and it's not the course where you won't see results if you actually use and apply the information. It's a copywriting workshop that offers one-on-one accountability with me, support and guidance, from someone who's been where you are now. So I was a business owner in the wedding industry, doing my own marketing, writing my own copy, and running my own business, from janitor to secretary. The boot camp only opens twice a year, and this is the last time that I will open it this year. So you can check it out and all the yummy bonuses that come with it at weddingplannercopy.com/bootcamp. Okay, that's it. I'm going to open it up for some Q&A, and then, as promised, I'll go back and leave it on the slide for some time with the examples so you can check those out. I should warn you too, there's about a 20-second delay, I think it is, between the time you type in a question and the time that I see it and can respond. So if it takes a little bit for me to get to you, that's probably what's going on. All right. Someone's asking, they're saying that they find it hard to write about themselves, to talk about themselves. And do I have any advice about writing about me without sounding as if they're boasting or missing things? So as I mentioned, I've read some pretty boastful about me pages, and then I've read some that are definitely missing the mark. So here's the thing. There are a couple of different ways that you can approach this. So for one, write like you're having a conversation with a bride that is sitting, or a groom that is sitting right in front of you face to face. What do you say to your couples during your consultations that then turn them into clients? You want to say that when you write, and you want to say that in your about page. That goes back to the be you when you write. You're you when you're sitting in front of them, so be you when you're writing. I always write just like I'm having a conversation. I highly recommend you're conversational in your copy, unless there's some particular niche of brides and grooms that you're dealing with that you don't think want you to be conversational with them, which I can't think of a bride or a groom, no matter what niche they fall into, that would be the case. But I mean, unless you feel really strongly that that's not your niche, then I mean, pretty much everyone can write that way. Something else that you can do so that it doesn't sound like it's coming directly from you is to use testimonials. So you would let your past couples, your past brides and grooms speak for you. And that way it doesn't come across as boasting or being obnoxious and kind of annoying. I personally do not use testimonials on my about page. I do use them on other pages. I don't use them on my about page, but you can. There's nothing saying that you cannot or that it's wrong. Just make sure that wherever you place the testimonial, it works with the flow of your copy and doesn't interrupt it. And what I mean by that is, again, you're taking them on that journey. So you wouldn't want to throw in a testimonial that has nothing to do with what you're talking about at the time that you interrupt that journey. You don't really want it to interrupt it at all. You want it to kind of flow. So that testimonial should become part of that flow versus just, shoving it in there to shove it in there. Okay. So this question is, I'm sort of a fun and unique person, but I'm trying to figure out how to use it when I write. So I say use it. Fun and unique is great. It's a great voice to have when you're writing. And I say this all the time, write like you talk. I just said it a few minutes ago. And if it helps you to do this, like if you can't figure out how to really write like you talk, then maybe record what you want to say, into your phone or whatever, and then go back and listen to it and transcribe it. So just throw it into a Word doc as you're listening, and then go back and edit what you need to edit, and you're out. Okay. How do I know if the way I write is appropriate for my business? So you can find a balance between the way that you write and the way that your particular dream clients, want you to talk to them. And you may already have that down. You may have a match already, or it might be something that you have to tweak. Honestly, though, I wouldn't change the way that you write or the way you speak for really anyone. I would say that your dream clients love you or will love you because of who you are, and that will come across in the way that you write. And using myself as an example, I don't change my writing for anyone. I write exactly pretty much like I would have a conversation with someone sitting right in front of me. And there are plenty of copywriters out there with different writing styles from me. So there are plenty of wedding professionals that differ in the style that they provide the service than the way that you provide your service. But you're not going to scare away the right client because, again, you're just being you. You're being yourself, and you know how you have to act and be, to the particular group of brides and grooms that you're wanting to work with or already working with. So, don't let that scare you. You're not the right wedding professional for every single wedding, and every single wedding is not the right wedding for you, and that's okay. So, again, you're not going to scare away the right people by writing the way that you write. Okay, someone's asking about tips to how to weave stories in with their About Me page, showing personality. They're saying they're very detailed, and they tend to state a lot of facts and go into all the details and be matter of fact, which can be dry. So they're not looking to bare their soul, but want to know how to inject more personality into their copy. So again, I go back to the conversation. Just pretend you're having a face-to-face with your girlfriend or guy friend, over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatever your choice beverage is, and just let it rip. If you get too personal, you can always go back and edit out that piece, but some personality and revealing some of your personal side in your copy is a good thing once in a while. And it does work because it really helps those people that are reading it to get to know you and want to work with you. So that it becomes, the consultation appointment just becomes kind of a formality where you're just kind of, getting them to sign it on the dotted line. So don't be afraid to just let a little bit of yourself into your writing. So someone's asking how long or how short their the bio on the About Me page should be. I would limit it to roughly 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph is typically who you are and a little bit about what you do and your credentials. And then the second's more about your educational background, so your degrees, certifications, accreditations that you hold. And then again, if you're using it on an external site, not your own, you can also add in there a soft call to action, such as saying, for more information, visit, and then throw in your website link or a web page, one of your page links. So I wouldn't keep it too long. And also when you're writing on the web, 2 to 3 sentences is a good size paragraph. It's different when you're writing for English class. That's not considered a paragraph, but web writing, that is considered a paragraph. And sometimes one sentence is considered a paragraph. So it's a little bit different. And then, is it better to have a long page of web copy or try to keep it short? So in general, I would say it is best not to write War and Peace on every single page of your website. I mean, great book, but not something that you want to do with every single page. Some pages may lend themselves to longer copy than others. At the same time, though, again, this is where you have to find balance. The website is where a lot of people go to find out more about what they're looking for from you, whatever that information may be, whether it's about you, about your packages, about services that you offer, about where you're located, you know, who knows what they're going there for. So the best policy is to write the copy that you need to write to cover what you need to cover, and try not to get hung up on how many words it is or how long it is or how short it is. So that's my advice on that. So it looks like that was the last question that came through for some time. So I will go back to the question page. So the example page. So I can show you those as we head out. And if you have any questions that pop up, you can always email me. hello@weddingplannercopy.com. I personally answer all those emails. So I'm happy to answer questions, you know, here and there. Well, thanks so much for hanging with me. I always love to talk about copy, especially about me page copy. And I will see you guys and talk with you later.